Hi, Dominic here. Welcome to the stretch video. Today we're going to be doing multiple stretches, each for a minute long. All right. This can be in addition to the warm-up video, which is fight with your body, which is a great amount of stretches to do to warm up first. I do suggest doing that before watching this video. All right. Let's begin. All right. First one is a lunge hold. Left leg in front first. All right. This one here you can do such as I'm doing here now, or if you need to add a little assistant for balance, all right, you can use a chair. All right, if you're using the chair, I would suggest getting the front leg on the side of the chair. All right, and then you're starting to lean into it there. Where you're going to feel this stretch is in the back hip flexor in that back leg. All right, and then a little bit of strengthening in the front quad. All right, of that front leg there. Key on this one is make sure that your knee, I'll do a little sideways view. Key on this one is with your knee, making sure that you're not going in. All right, make sure your knee right in line with your ankle there, right over top of that. All right, and holding it there. Chest is out. We're not hunching over our back like this. Making sure the chest is out on this one. All right, stretching, leaning into it a little bit as well. All right, leaning into that front leg. Whew. All right, stand up there. All right, shake it off a little bit. Go on to the other leg. Do not want to leave it uneven. All right. Again, leaning into it here. All right, trying to make sure you get a good stretch. All right, getting nice and low. Again, try to get a little bit lower chair if you can. If this is too low and it hurts in your knee or something like that, try to make sure you're not leaning too much on that front leg and pushing it forward. All right, the more your front knee goes forward, the more you might feel it in that knee itself. All right, so make sure, again, leaning into it slightly, but not too much that you'll feel your knee. All right, stretching into it. Again, feeling it in that back hip flexor there. Nice hold, a great strengthening on that front quad as well, which will be my right leg right now. Be good, leading us into the squat hold next. All right, whew. Get the chair out of the way if you need it there. Next one up is a squat hold. All right, so we're dropping down into it. All right, the 3 outs. All right, butt out, knees out, chest out. All right, these are key to helping limit the risk of injury on this one. All right, pushing that butt back will force you more onto your heels. All right, and that's where we want it. That's where the muscle strengthening happens. All right, getting a nice stretch in the hips here. All right, similar to our warm-up video where we're using the overhead squat. Instead, the only difference is on this one, I'm not raising my arms up, keeping them right here. All right, keeping that chest up. All right, nice hold here. Keeping the knees out. Gets too hard, you can't come up slightly and then come right back down. All right, again, maintaining good posture, making sure your chest is out. All right, make sure the chest is out on this one. Push that butt back. Whew. All right, enough of that there. Next one here, field goal squeeze. Go up to your arms like this and then down. Important thing on this one is down. All right, so I'm trying to force these shoulder blades in the back of my shoulders there on my back, forcing them down. All right, down is more important than back. A lot of times, see people trying to just put their arms back. That's not necessarily what's going to help the shoulder blades. Focus on the shoulder blades going down. If you don't know if your shoulders are down or not, forcibly put them up like this, and then force them down. Force them down there. Nice hold down there. Whew. I'm a little dizzy after the squat hold there. Whew. Going good. Yeah, and this is really great for posture. We do so many things like this. We're trying to break out of that. All right, we like calling it, we're webbed up like a spider. So we're trying to break out of that field goal squeeze. Break out of that crunch by doing the field goal squeeze. All right, next up here is we got the split hold. All right, so wide split. All right, you can either hold the ground, or if that's too much for you, you can use a chair or step up. But if you have a step up, use that. That's a little bit better. But if you don't, no problem at all. Use the chair here. All right, and get nice and wide. With a lot of these, you may feel like, all right, I'm going wide. And I feel like I'm getting a good stretch here, specifically on this one in the groin. All right, but make sure on this one, you don't go too far. All right, so you go where you're just feeling that stretch, hold it there, and then maybe as the minute progresses, you might go even deeper. All right, feeling your body start to stretch out more on that. All right, big one here, chest out again. Chest out always on these exercises. All right, it limits the risk of a back injury that way. Keeps that back straight. Holding it there. All right, next up, we got it here. Next up is the chest stretch. All right, so I have a strap here that I use. If you have one of these at home, do it that way as well. Go like that, step forward. All right, you don't necessarily need these. You can just use a door. All right, so you can go into a door frame, go like this here, step forward just slightly, and then you're gonna feel a good stretch right across your chest here. All right, this is just like the field goal squeeze where we're trying to do opposite effects. So we do a lot of stuff like this, driving, eating, texting. All right, so we're trying to break out of that. And a chest stretch is one of the ways we can do that. Keeping it out there. And a good stretch, stepping forward. You can step forward on the field goal squeeze too, but this one here, stepping forward to get a good stretch on the chest there. Making sure we're dropping those shoulders, make sure they're not up here. All right, we don't want to do it like this. We want to make sure they're dropped down. Step forward on that one. All right, next one here, we have the double hamstrings. This one, we're just going like this, going down, twisting at our hip, going slightly down there. All right, so for this one, good option, do a sideways here. Think about you have a dial on your hip, turning it here, pushing that butt back, keeping that chest out. Closer your feet are together, the more you're gonna feel it. You're gonna make sure that our knees are not flexed, all right? They make sure they're extended, all right? So we can actually get a good stretch in the hamstrings here. The hamstrings are one of the tightest places in our body, so this should not feel comfortable. All right, it should not feel comfortable here. Keeping that chest out, leaning forward. Again, as you progress, you might feel like, ooh, I don't feel like as much as a stretch there. Slightly tilt forward a little bit more, and start to feel it a little bit more in that back of the legs there. Whew, good on that one. All right, next up here, we have the prisoner stretch. All right, this one is where we're gonna go like this. All right, put our hands together like this and lean back slightly. All right, if that's too much on the back, if you have back problems or a little sore low back, I wouldn't hold that one. All right, I would actually instead do like this and just do lean back slightly and do it standing. All right, split stance slightly, but standing mostly, and start to go back a little bit, but again, not too far because we don't want to irritate that low back. All right, that's an option for you. For others, do that there, up, lean back there. Get a side angle on this one, this, there. Stretching out on our abdominals and back on this one. Good stretch. All right, next one. We are heading to the ground on this one. All right, so we have the cobra stretch. This one, lay flat on your stomach and press up. All right, this one, like the prisoner stretch, gets the abs. All right, this is a big ab one. All right, on this one here, but unlike the prisoner stretch, it actually focuses on the abs primarily more. All right, if you feel like your low back is hurting on this one, there is a different option of doing a standing and just leaning back slightly, like I just showed you there. And so it's very close to the same thing. All right, again, don't lean back as much if you feel like pressure is added to your low back. All right, keep those lower abdominals in on this one as well. Feeling a good stretch. Side view, stretching out. Gonna feel a good stretch right in those abdominals there. Whew. All right, next one on this we have is the quad stretch. All right, so you can do it standing here. All right, you can have something to hold on to and stand, get a good stretch going there. Oops. All right, so that is an option for you on that one. Another option is you can use a chair like this one here. All right, make sure you hold on to something in front of you. Kick that leg up and hold it that way if it's too hard to grab on. All right, with this one, we're making sure that our knees are close together and we're standing up nice and tall. All right, if you crunch over like this, you're not getting as great of a stretch. If your legs go out like this, not as great of a stretch. We want to really make sure we maximize our stretch time, all right, by being as efficient as possible as we stretch, which means correct posture as we do it, like all exercises here at Tall Trainer. Good hold there. All right, other side here. Flip that chair around, flip your leg back on the other chair, on the chair there, or just grab the other leg. Again, keeping those knees closer together, standing up nice and tall. I can tell too, when I'm out here, we used to do this at football practice. And with this one, everyone would hold it out here, and it's like, when I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't have the greatest stretch, but once I get it close to the other leg, it's like, oh, there we go, there's a difference. There's a difference there. So trying to really maintain the correct posture on a lot of these exercises, especially stretches, actually maximizes the opportunity to stretch there and maximizes the stretch in those muscles. So really holding it there, chest is out, standing up nice and tall. Nice and tall, holding on to something for balance there, because we're not really trying to exactly work on balance with this specific exercise. All right, but really trying to work on stretching. All right, next one is our hip. All right, the hip stretch here. Now, doing it from the ground here is an option. All right, so you just do it on the ground here, laying flat on our backs. All right, cross one leg over, grab through the hole with one arm, grab around the leg with the other, and pull up. All right, so this is an option. All right, if you can get on the ground, you can keep holding this here for the whole minute. If it's too hard to get on the ground, you can stand up, sit on a chair, cross that leg over, and sit up straight, nice and tall. All right, you're gonna feel a good stretch in that hip muscle there. You feel like you need a little greater stretch, take the palm of your hand, push on that knee slightly. All right, you're gonna feel a greater stretch that way in that hip muscle. All right, good, doing good. All right, other side here. So if you're on the ground, just switch sides there. In the chair, bring the other leg up. Again, standing nice and tall. I would say probably our hamstrings, our hips are usually the more tight places in our body, just from driving, sitting. Those are areas that don't get stretched out when we're sitting down. And a lot of the activities we do with either stuff on the computer, watching TV, driving, is a lot of sitting down. All right, eating, even sitting down most of the time to eat. You know, stuff like that is even gonna tighten these places up. So a lot of times there's other painful areas that result. So if we can loosen these up, it might help resolve some of those issues in the low back or the hip. All right, or even the knee. There we go, holding it here. All right, almost there, a couple seconds left here. Holding it nice and tall. Whew. All right, next one here is the calf stretch. All right, I'm gonna go to this rack here, but you can go to a wall at home. Go into a wall, press onto it here, press back, and then lean forward in that front leg. You're gonna feel a stretch in that back calf on this one. All right. So if you wanna feel it closer to the Achilles, so we have a bigger muscle called the gastrocnemius, and then we have the smaller one, which is soleus. It goes and attaches to the Achilles there. All right. So with that one you start to bend the knee, you start to feel a little bit more in that soleus muscle there. All right. Again, trying to keep that heel close to the ground as possible, if not touching the ground. Leaning forward to get a greater stretch. All right. Like I said, as you progress with these, you might feel like you need to get a greater stretch there. So going a little bit more into it. That way is an option. All right, other side. Last one here. Nice hold here. So these are stretches that you can do. Again, not too long. All right, a minute each. All right, these are stretches that you can do for wherever you are. So you need minimal amount of equipment, if any. All right, and you can do them multiple times during the day. All right, so you can do this with the warm-up video that I sent to you, or you can also do this just as a regular video. All right, it's a little bit longer than the warm-up video. All right, but together they're about almost 24 minutes, almost around 20 minutes. All right, so getting close, 20 to 24 minutes there. So again, it's a great way to get extra flexibility, a little bit stretch your muscles, and also get a little bit stronger as well in those muscles, because a lot of these are strengthening exercises as well, not just working on flexibility. All right, and that's it. All right, thank you for joining me with this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of your day.